wrap for Melody Shari Rogers on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She's officially announced that she will not be returning to the reality TV series. Look, there have been a lot of signs that Melody was done with OWN, that she was done with Carlos, because she unfollowed him. She's said some things on social media, and most recently, she revealed some things about her issues with the show and how it's being produced. And someone, a producer on her show, basically wanted to be her TV manager, and when she said no, she felt as if there was retaliation.
When Melody Shari stepped away from Love and Marriage Huntsville, it wasn't just a quiet exit from a hit reality series. It was a turning point that shook the entire franchise from the inside out. And now, for the first time, Melody is pulling back the curtain on what really happened after she walked away, revealing the downfall, the tension, the chaos, and the unraveling that Huntsville tried to hide. What she exposes doesn't just change the way fans see the show, it changes the way they see the people behind it. Because from the moment she left, the city she helped elevate began to crumble in ways nobody expected. And Melody watched all of it from the outside, fully aware that the empire she once carried was collapsing without her. But here's the twist: Melody didn't leave quietly. She left with her peace, her power, and her voice, and she's finally using that voice to expose exactly why Huntsville has never been the same since she stepped away. And the truth? It hits much deeper than ratings, drama, or cast changes. The truth goes back to the roots of the show and the way her presence held everything together.
People who are on a path of self-destruction, and that's all they know is self-destruction. It ain't nobody doing it to you. It ain't nobody forcing you nothing. You are self-destructing yourself. Okay?
The very moment she closed the door behind her, the cracks that were hidden for years widened into something nobody could ignore. And as she tells it now, this downfall didn't surprise her one bit. Long before cameras ever rolled, Melody was already building something bigger than entertainment. She was building a brand, a career, and a life that didn't depend on chaos. When the show was first created, she wasn't just there to be seen, she was there because her story mattered. She represented the dream of Black success, ambition, and resilience. And while fans loved the drama, they also connected to her heart, her journey, and the way she confronted every obstacle with honesty. When Love and Marriage Huntsville premiered, it wasn't expected to become a phenomenon. But the moment Melody and Martell opened up their marriage to the world, everything shifted. Their relationship, the love, the betrayal, the healing, the heartbreak became the heartbeat of the entire series. Fans weren't just watching scenes, they were living through the pain, the confusion, and the triumph right along with her.
Y'all, at midnight, Melody Shari Rogers released her statement stating that she would no longer be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. After 9 seasons of sharing her life with us, she has decided to part ways with the show.
Social media exploded every weekend with viewers discussing every argument, every reveal, every emotional confession. And at the center of it all stood Melody, navigating motherhood, entrepreneurship, and a collapsing marriage under the bright glare of television lights. As the seasons went on, Melody grew from a reality star into a force. She transformed pain into purpose. She turned personal challenges into business opportunities. She inspired thousands of women to walk away from situations that no longer served them. And while the show brought her fame, it also brought sacrifices that weighed on her spirit. As she now reveals, the pressure behind the scenes was even heavier than what fans saw on screen. She was expected to carry storylines, drive conversations, and hold the audience's attention, all while dealing with real emotional wounds. The turning point came when Melody realized she was giving far more than she was receiving.
You are in a leadership position, or so-called leadership position, or executive position. Cleanser and mango. It's just certain things that you just supposed to like you don't talk about you don't talk about your people that's putting a check in your pocket. You don't. I ain't never seen, I'm just gonna be honest, I've never seen the owner of, let's see, what's a good one? I've never witnessed, what'd you say, Lauren? I've never seen the owner of, let's think of a good brand. 7th Avenue. the people who's putting money in our pockets, the people who are part of this team, the people who make the wheels turn. What I look like getting up here talking about Lauren. Now I can pick with her though, but and then want her to still show up to work the next day.
She started to feel like the show was less about documenting real lives and more about exploiting her hurt. She speaks openly now about the moment she recognized that she was losing control of her own narrative. Scenes were being shaped around conflict. Her family was always under the microscope, and the deeper her personal life spiraled, the more valuable she became to the production. She had become the centerpiece not because she wanted the spotlight, but because the chaos surrounding her marriage became the show's biggest storyline. And while she carried the weight gracefully, the emotional burden was heavy. Every season brought new challenges. Every episode added pressure. And every break from filming reminded her how much peace she lost in exchange for fame. Then came the tension between Melody and the show's mastermind, Carlos King. Their partnership started strong, built on trust and a shared vision. But Melody now explains that over time, that vision changed. She began to feel that what she valued wasn't being protected. She wasn't being heard the way she used to be.
I'm a victim all the time.
Ooh,
It gets on my nerves.
So I feel like everybody just heard everything Martell said.
No,
and
because
Martell said I'm playing the
well,
victim.
I wish one day people will see the person that you really are.
She speaks about moments where she voiced concerns, yet found herself ignored. Moments where she asked for balance, but was met with demands for more drama. And moments where she realized that her pain was being prioritized over her peace. According to Melody, that was the moment she knew the show was shifting not in her favor, but in a direction she no longer wanted to be part of. Viewers saw glimpses of this shift, but they never knew how deep it ran. Melody watched the tone of her story change, watched her efforts get overshadowed by conflict, watched her boundaries get stretched thinner and thinner. And the more she pulled back, the more the production seemed to push forward. This slow buildup led to the breaking point. Melody says she finally reached a place where she felt like she had nothing left to give the show. She didn't want to expose her children to constant turmoil. She didn't want to sacrifice her dignity for storylines that didn't reflect her true journey. She wanted to reclaim her life not as a character on television, but as a woman who had survived more than most people ever knew. So she stepped away. Not in anger. Not in defeat. But in full control. She chose herself, her health, her family, and her future at a moment when staying would have meant losing everything she fought for. And while fans were shocked at first, Melody says she knew that walking away was the only way to protect what mattered to her. The moment she left, the energy shifted. And what happened next, the downfall she's now exposing, didn't surprise her at all. Because without Melody, the balance that grounded the show disappeared. The structure that held the cast together collapsed. The storylines that once felt authentic turned chaotic. And the audience noticed immediately. The numbers started dipping. Viewers commented that the spark was gone. Longtime fans admitted they struggled to stay engaged because the heart of the show, Melody's story, was no longer there to hold everything together. Melody explains it this way: people weren't watching just for arguments or scandals. They were watching because her journey gave the show meaning. Her presence made the conflicts feel real. Her perspective made the drama feel layered instead of shallow. Without her voice, the cast's issues felt tangled, aimless, and disconnected. And the cast themselves? Melody says the shift was visible. Without her leadership energy, people who used to rely on her presence for direction started scrambling on their own. Friendships fractured even more. Alliances broke apart. New conflicts popped up without depth. Drama became the center instead of the story. Melody believes the show lost the emotional core that kept everything grounded. Meanwhile, Martell's behavior became even more unpredictable. Without Melody's presence to balance the dynamic, his storyline spiraled. Online rants. Legal issues. Public arguments. A non-stop cycle of headlines that painted a picture of a man losing control. Melody doesn't speak on this with bitterness, she speaks on it with clarity. She says that her absence removed the structure that once kept the chaos in check. And once that structure was gone, the fallout was inevitable. Other cast members struggled too. Some attempted to step into the spotlight but couldn't carry it the same way. Others tried to stir up drama, but it felt forced instead of natural. Melody says the authenticity she brought, the realness people connected to, couldn't be duplicated. As she explains it, the downfall wasn't one big explosion. It was a slow unraveling. A shift that was happening quietly beneath the surface long before she left. She just happened to be the glue holding everything together. And once the glue was gone, the cracks became impossible to hide. Fans were the first to speak up. They filled social media with comments about how the show didn't feel the same. They complained about scattered storylines and unnecessary arguments. Many admitted they only watched because of Melody, and now they struggled to stay invested. Even people who once criticized her found themselves acknowledging that the show desperately needed her presence. Melody sees the downfall clearly. She says the show lost its heart. It lost its purpose. It lost the element that made it special, the mix of real success, real emotions, and real struggle. Instead of telling meaningful stories, it became a cycle of conflict without growth. And while the franchise still exists, Melody believes the original spirit of love and marriage, Huntsville, is gone. What once represented Black excellence, ambition, and community now feels like a fragmented version of its past. Yet Melody isn't bitter. She's honest. She's reflective. She understands her impact in a way she never did before. Walking away allowed her to see the bigger picture: how much she carried, how much she sacrificed, and how much strength she had all along. She's thriving now, building new projects, expanding her brand, raising her children, and protecting her peace with the same determination that made her a star. She hasn't ruled out returning to TV, but she's crystal clear about one thing: she will never again hand over her story to a platform that doesn't respect her truth. If she returns, it will be on her own terms, with full control and full ownership. As for Huntsville, Melody says the downfall is real and she's not surprised. She watched the city rise with her, and she watched it stumble without her. But she also knows that leaving saved her. And sometimes, the downfall of a place you once called home is the price of protecting your soul. Her journey proves one thing: when a woman chooses peace over chaos, purpose over fame, and healing over hurt, she doesn't lose anything. She wins everything. And that's exactly what Melody did.